Welcome to Booxcape, your sanctuary for book lovers. Here we provide concise summaries and insightful reviews of the best books. Turn off the noise, settle in, and immerse yourself in the world of literature. Discover new favorites and explore captivating stories with Booxcape.
Hello. My name is Johnny. Today we're exploring Essentialism, the Disciplined Pursuit of Less, by Greg McKeown. This insightful book is a guide to focusing on what truly matters and eliminating what doesn't, to lead a more purposeful and productive life. McKeown's philosophy of essentialism offers a powerful antidote to the overwhelm and busyness that pervades modern life. Let's dive into the key themes and principles of essentialism. Introduction. The essence of essentialism. Greg McKeown starts essentialism by introducing the concept of essentialism, which he defines as the disciplined pursuit of less but better. He challenges the notion that we can have it all and do it all, arguing instead for a more selective approach to life. McKeown's key message is to focus on what is essential, eliminate what is not, and create space for what truly matters. He writes, "The way of the essentialist means living by design, not by default." McKeown's ideas resonate with the principles in The One Thing by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan, which emphasizes the importance of focusing on the one most important task that will make everything else easier or unnecessary. Chapter 1. The Essentialist. In the first chapter, McKeown introduces the essentialist mindset. He contrasts it with the non-essentialist approach, which tries to do everything and be everything to everyone. McKeown emphasizes that the essentialist prioritizes what truly matters and eliminates the trivial many. He asserts, only once you give yourself permission to stop trying to do it all, to stop saying yes to everyone, can you make your highest contribution towards the things that really matter. McKeown explains that the English translation of weniger aber besser is less is better, and this is the mantra of essentialism. Essentialism is about constantly pausing to ask, am I investing in the right activities? He adds, essentialism is not about how to get more things done. It's about how to get the right things done. He shares the story of Steve Jobs, who returned to Apple and reduced the company's product line from hundreds to just 10, leading to a significant turnaround. McKeown emphasizes that essentialism rejects the idea that we can fit it all in and requires grappling with real trade-offs and making tough decisions. If you don't prioritize your life, someone else will, he warns. McKeown also discusses the paradox of success. He explains that as we gain clarity of purpose and achieve success, we often become overwhelmed with increased opportunities and demands. This leads to diffused efforts and distraction from our highest contribution. He notes, the word priority came into the English language in the 1400s. It was singular. It stayed singular for the next 500 years. He highlights the regret expressed by many at the end of their lives, as recorded by Australian nurse Bronnie Ware. I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. Chapter 2. Choose. The Invincible Power of Choice. McKeown highlights the importance of choice in living an essentialist life. He argues that we often forget our ability to choose and instead react to demands placed upon us. By reclaiming our power to choose, we can focus on what is truly important. He writes, while we may not always have control over our options, we always have control over how we choose among them. To become an essentialist requires a heightened awareness of our ability to choose. McKeown warns that when we forget our ability to choose, we become a function of other people's choices or even our own past choices. This concept aligns with the ideas in The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, which also emphasizes proactive choice and prioritization of what matters most. Chapter 3. Discern. The unimportance of practically everything. In this chapter, McKeown introduces the idea that most things in life are not essential. He stresses the importance of discernment in identifying the vital few among the trivial many. McKeown provides practical strategies for discerning what truly matters, such as setting clear criteria for decision-making and asking tough questions about the value of tasks and commitments. He states, "Almost everything is noise, and a very few things are exceptionally valuable." He provides examples from his consulting work, showing how companies and individuals transformed their results by focusing on less but better. This idea aligns with the principles in The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, which advocates for prioritizing high-impact activities. Chapter 4. Trade-off. Which problem do I want? McKeown explores the concept of trade-offs, emphasizing that choosing to focus on what is essential often means saying no to other opportunities. He argues that understanding trade-offs is crucial for making wise decisions. McKeown writes, "We can try to avoid the reality of trade-offs, but we can't escape them." He uses the example of Southwest Airlines, which chose to offer only point-to-point flights and no meals, focusing on their essential service. This focus on trade-offs allowed them to provide efficient, affordable flights. He explains that instead of asking, "What do I have to give up?" essentialists ask, "What do I want to go big on?" Chapter 5. Escape. The perks of being unavailable. In this chapter, McKeown discusses the importance of creating space to think and focus. He advocates for setting boundaries and making time for solitude and reflection. McKeown argues that being constantly busy and available prevents us from engaging in deep, meaningful work. He advises, we need space to escape in order to discern the essential few from the trivial many. This idea is similar to the deep work concept by Cal Newport, which emphasizes the need for focused, distraction-free time to achieve significant results. Chapter 6. Look, see what really matters. McKeown emphasizes the importance of looking beyond the obvious to identify what truly matters. He encourages readers to question assumptions, look for patterns, and see the bigger picture. By doing so, we can focus on the right things and make more informed decisions. He writes, "Being a journalist of your own life will force you to stop hyper-focusing on all the minor details and see the bigger picture." One of the most obvious and yet powerful ways to become a journalist of our own lives is simply to keep a journal. Chapter 7. Play. Embrace the wisdom of your inner child. McKeown highlights the role of play in fostering creativity and innovation. He argues that play is essential for exploring new possibilities and maintaining a balanced life. McKeown writes, "Play doesn't just help us to explore what is essential. It is essential in and of itself." He provides examples of companies like Google, which encourage play and creativity among their employees to drive innovation. This aligns with the ideas in Play, How It Shapes the Brain, Opens the Imagination and Invigorates the Soul by Stuart Brown. Chapter 8. Sleep. Protect the asset. In this chapter, McKeown emphasizes the importance of sleep as a fundamental element of productivity and well-being. He argues that sleep is essential for maintaining physical and mental health, and for making better decisions. McKeown states, "The best asset we have for making a contribution to the world is ourselves." He shares research and anecdotes that highlight the negative effects of sleep deprivation and the benefits of prioritizing rest. This concept is supported by the findings in Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, which discusses the critical role of sleep in overall health and performance. Chapter 9. Select. The Power of Extreme Criteria. McKeown discusses the power of setting high criteria for selecting opportunities and tasks. He argues that by being extremely selective, we can ensure that we are only investing our time and energy in what truly matters. McKeown writes, "If it isn't a clear yes, then it's a clear no." He provides practical advice on how to apply this principle in various areas of life, from personal commitments to professional opportunities. This idea is also explored in Essential Essays by the Minimalists by Joshua Fields Milburn and Ryan Nicodemus, which advocates for a more intentional and selective approach to life. Chapter 10. Clarify. One decision. That Makes 1,000 McKeown emphasizes the importance of clarity in decision-making. He argues that a lack of clarity about goals and roles leads to confusion, stress, and frustration. An essential intent, according to McKeown, is both inspirational and concrete, meaningful and measurable. He writes, "When there is a serious lack of clarity about what the team stands for and what their goals and roles are, people experience confusion, stress, and frustration." Chapter 11. Dare. The Power of a Graceful No. In this chapter, McKeown explores the power of saying no gracefully. He explains that by separating the decision from the relationship, we can make clear decisions and communicate them with courage and compassion. McKeown writes, "The more we think about what we are giving up when we say yes to someone, the easier it is to say no." He suggests that we should consider the trade-offs of saying yes and have the courage to say no to protect our essential priorities. Essentialists accept they cannot be popular with everyone all of the time. Chapter 12. Uncommit. Win big by cutting your losses. McKeown discusses the importance of uncommitting from non-essential activities. He introduces the concept of sunk cost bias, the tendency to continue investing in something because of the time or money already spent. McKeown argues that an essentialist has the courage to admit mistakes and uncommit, no matter the sunk costs. Sunk cost bias is the tendency to continue to invest time, money, or energy into something we know is a losing proposition simply because we have already incurred or sunk a cost that cannot be recouped. He provides practical strategies for uncommitting, such as asking, "If I wasn't already involved in this project, how hard would I work to get on it?" Chapter 13. Edit. The Invisible Art. In this chapter, McKeown likens the process of eliminating the non-essential to the role of an editor. He explains that editing involves making tough decisions to cut what is not essential to improve clarity and focus. The Latin root of the word decision, cis or sidi, literally means to cut or to kill. McKeown advises, the next stage in the essentialist process, eliminating the non-essentials, means taking on the role of an editor in your life and leadership. He shares the joke. "I must apologize. If I had more time, I would have written a shorter letter to illustrate the importance of editing and simplicity." Chapter 14. Limit. The Freedom of Setting Boundaries. McKeown emphasizes the importance of setting boundaries to protect what is essential. He suggests identifying deal breakers, activities or requests that you refuse to say yes to unless they align with your priorities. Think of one person who frequently pulls you off your most essential path. Make a list of your deal breakers, the types of requests or activities from that person that you simply refuse to say yes to unless they somehow overlap with your own priorities or agenda. A quick test for finding your deal breakers is to write down any time you feel violated or put upon by someone's request. Chapter 15. Buffer. The Unfair Advantage. McKeown discusses the importance of building in buffers to reduce the friction caused by the unexpected. He argues that by accepting the reality that we cannot fully anticipate every scenario, we can create space to handle surprises more effectively. Essentialists accept the reality that we can never fully anticipate or prepare for every scenario or eventuality. The future is simply too unpredictable. Instead, they build in buffers to reduce the friction caused by the unexpected. Chapter 16. Subtract, bring forth more by removing obstacles. McKeown argues that instead of adding more efforts and resources, we should focus on removing obstacles. He cites Lao Tzu. To attain knowledge, add things every day. To attain wisdom, subtract things every day. McKeown explains that an essentialist produces more by removing more instead of doing more. He encourages asking questions like, what is getting in the way of achieving what is essential, and prioritizing the removal of these obstacles. Instead of looking for the most obvious or immediate obstacles, they look for the ones slowing down progress. They ask, what is getting in the way of achieving what is essential? Chapter 17. Progress. The power of small wins. In this chapter, McKeown emphasizes the power of small wins in making progress. He argues that instead of trying to accomplish everything at once, we should focus on achieving small, meaningful wins. Instead of trying to accomplish it all, and all at once, and flaring out, the essentialist starts small and celebrates progress. Instead of going for the big, flashy wins that don't really matter, the essentialist pursues small and simple wins in areas that are essential. McKeown references Frederick Hertzberg's research showing that achievement and recognition for achievement are primary internal motivators for people. He suggests adopting a method of minimal viable progress by asking, what is the smallest amount of progress that will be useful and valuable to the essential task we are trying to get done? Chapter 18. Flow. The genius of routine. McKeown discusses the importance of designing routines that make achieving essential tasks the default. He explains that by creating a routine, we can ensure consistent progress towards our goals. The essentialist designs a routine that makes achieving what you have identified as essential to the default position. Chapter 19. Focus. What's important now? To operate at your highest level of contribution, McKeown emphasizes the importance of tuning in to what is important in the here and now. He contrasts the Greek concepts of chronos, chronological time, and kairos, qualitative time, advocating for focusing on the latter to be fully present and engaged. When faced with so many tasks and obligations that you can't figure out which to tackle first, stop, take a deep breath, get present in the moment, and ask yourself what is most important this very second. Not what's most important tomorrow or even an hour from now. Chapter 20. B. The Essentialist Life. In the final chapter, McKeown encourages readers to fully embrace essentialism as a way of life. He explains that by living as an essentialist, we can achieve a transformation of the heart and experience new levels of success and meaning. If you allow yourself to fully embrace essentialism, to really live it in everything you do, whether at home or at work, it can become a part of the way you see and understand the world. McKeown calls this transformation metanoia, a Greek word referring to a transformation of the heart. He concludes, whatever decision or challenge or crossroads you face in your life, simply ask yourself, what is essential? Eliminate everything else. Conclusion. Embracing essentialism. Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less by Greg McKeown, is a powerful guide to reclaiming control over our lives and focusing on what truly matters. By adopting the principles of essentialism, we can lead more intentional and fulfilling lives. McKeown's insights, backed by research and real-life examples, provide a practical roadmap for living a more productive and meaningful life.
Thanks for joining us on Booxcape. If you enjoyed this book summary and review, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts and book recommendations in the comments below. If you want to purchase a copy of the book or audiobook, check out the link in the description. Until next time, happy reading, and remember, every journey begins with a book.